Welcome to another episode of Middle Ground with JLE, L.L.C, where we treat you like family. That's the theme song, Detroit Love, off my first album, The JLE Experience. I own the music and copyright, so don't mute nothing Facebook. We have another amazing early edition from the UK, another amazing guest for you. We have relationship coaching practitioner / trainer, MA DipCoach of KJ Ratcliffe Consultancy, owner, CEO, Cameron Ratcliffe. Welcome to the show.
Hello, and thank you for the invite. And hello to everybody who's watching.
Here we go. First question, what led you to this path?
Well, we could talk all night about this. I grew up in a family where there is toxicity. There was a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, and things were very difficult. And I did a lot of learning while all that was going on. And I became very interested in understanding behavior. What is it that triggers certain types of behavior? And I was homeless by 17 because I tried to say no, which you'll hear me talk a lot about, this ability to say no. It's something we don't like doing as humans. But I learned to say no. I learned to refuse to play the game. And basically, it cost me. But in a way, it didn't cost me, because although I had quite a tough time being homeless and having to find somewhere to live and all that goes with that, again, massive learning how to communicate with some very difficult people, and stand up for myself. So I think I was about 17, 18 when I began to find my path.
Okay. And that path led us to, what is KJ Ratcliffe Consultancy?
Well, it did eventually. I worked in. I didn't go to university till my children were born,
Okay.
and I did a lot of studies around human behavior and organizational behavior within the community. So I wanted to look at the individual and how the individual reacted to certain situations. I did my dissertation on relationship breakdown because it's something that has always interested me. And I ended up in community work, and then I was able to get involved with a charity where I got a role, and I designed a children's service. I designed a pen friend scheme that was international, and I felt very pleased with the interaction that we had at conferences. I used to run all the activities for the young people and the children. And after that, I ended up in the probation service, and this is where I learned that everything I had experienced as a young person really was for a reason, and it was in that role. Yeah.
Awesome. So what does your consultancy company do for someone that don't know?
Well, it's new, it's young, okay? It's only been going for a few months. What I do is I work with people to help them to manage those difficult conversations, those decisions that they find very impossible, and help them to say no. It's about confidence and communication, and it's also about understanding yourself. Because one of the things I've learned in life and through all of my training, I've been trained with CBT, I've done negotiation and conflict resolution training, I've done compassion therapy training, and I am very interested in writing. So I've done a lot of work around communicating through freeform writing and poetry. So over the years, I think I had experiences and I went on training because it was all because, although I didn't know it at the time, I was heading to this point in my life.
Okay.
So what I do is I help you to get that confidence, to dig deep into yourself, to understand who you are, what matters to you, what beliefs you have, how do you value yourself, um, what experiences have triggered certain reactions for you, and basically, what is it that you want? How do you envision that? And I help you to get to that point. Right now, I'm helping a couple of people who are having real difficulties in their job role and communicating. Um, there's a lot of stuff that's happening right now. People are being let go all over the place, and
That's
people are
true.
worried about their job. And I feel also that the tolerance levels of certain types of behavior are changing. And I think that in some aspects, people can become very vulnerable by direct and blunt communication if they're not used to it.
Yeah, that's true. And in a working environment, it needs to be done with the right tact because some people can be cold hearted about it, maybe on purpose or not unintentional. But like, I need you to go take care of this account. That might offend someone because the tone they may use is more like, do it now. And they like, dang, what I do? Why they talk to me like that? And that person might not realize they like, okay, they just called with these county, go take care right now. Thank you. So they have to notice, okay, what's their personality trait so they don't feel like that. Because I need them to get it done and be productive in doing it and not be sitting there like, dang, I'm in trouble. Because the way they
Mm.
talked to me was like, wow, they never done that before. And they might not even realize
And I think that sometimes it can be really hard to interact with somebody and see things from their perspective.
it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that goes in both sides of a conversation or a
True.
relationship. And we have expectations and we make assumptions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, based on our previous life experiences, but also on our habitual behavior. Um, we humans, we learn to do something, and for some reason, even if it's not working for us, we tend to just keep on repeating it because it's what we're comfortable with, even if it's not working for us.
Insanity.
Well, yes, there is
It's
that
gonna work.
saying.
Oh, it will. Like, no, it won't. You did it 10 times. 11 is
Yeah,
gonna work. Like, okay.
yeah, yeah. And sometimes it's that fear of owning it,
Hmm.
owning your mistake, but also stepping out and asking yourself the question, actually, is there something else I could do? What's really going on here?
Absolutely.
Ooh, how can I try something different? Let's have a look at this. And basically putting some experiments into action. And if they don't work, well, whatever, you tried. And you could try something else. I was talking with somebody today on LinkedIn about this because they were going on
Hmm.
about life's journey. And I said, well, you know what? We take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward. And then maybe we step to the left or we step to the right.
Hmm.
And then we go back 2 steps. This is life. It isn't a straight course of action that just
Uh,
continues regardless.
God bless you
Um,
if it is for you, but that ain't everybody's story.
yeah, but we just need a little more kindness towards ourselves and to others, and a bit more acceptance, I think.
True.
Um, People talk about gratitude all the time, and I've heard people, are very into gratitude, but even if you're not, just celebrating that moment that where something good happens and just sitting with it for a moment and
Hmm.
letting it just fill you and feel that joy. That's like the best medicine anyone can have.
That's true.
Yeah.
A lot can be a lot can be different if people start off being kind and try to understand the other side of that person before just, well, I expect you to act like this because everybody else in my experience act like this, so it's your fault you're not acting like everyone else.
Yeah.
God made
But who
everybody
said
different.
that was yeah, but who said that was the right way? You
Yeah.
know, who defined
Shouldn't be
that?
the- Absolutely. That shouldn't be the norm. Just because these people fall in line on the way you ask them to do ABC, this person might think you being a bully, and you ain't trying to be, because their experiences, people that talk like that to them always try to bully them. So you
Well,
gotta
I
figure out.
run an audio room on a Wednesday night every other week. And I do that because we talk about some of these more difficult things that
Mhm.
people avoid, they run away from, or they deny. And
Yeah.
I give people the freedom to come forward if they want to tell their story or to comment on somebody else's story. And the beauty of the audio room on LinkedIn is you can hide if you want at the back and not step forward, but you can take from the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and there are some fantastic tools out there now that you can use to get a lot more information, a lot more understanding. So, you know, the world offers so many opportunities now. You don't need to be afraid. You don't need to feel that nobody's listening. There is a way.
An emotional confrontation is not scary, like anyone might think.
I
Those
don't think,
conversations need to be had so you can get to the other side to something better.
yeah,
Learn something about yourself in the process.
yeah. And that's life. If
Hmm.
we aren't learning about what is going on for us as we progress through life, then we're not growing. We're not becoming somebody bigger and better. Um, but getting back to kind of like the negatives around challenging somebody or speaking your mind,
Hmm.
um, we know this as humans. We know that we're programmed. We've been told by so many different people now, gurus and trainers, about how programmed we all are.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we adjust that program because every time we go back into a memory of
Hmm.
something that's happened, we change it. It can't be the same memory as it was before. So if you can think like that and think, actually, I can't do this because this happened before. Every time you've gone back into that memory, it's adjusted. So you're basing the premise for your decision on faulty information.
That's a great point, because you do learn more information from that past experience that you didn't notice, and it might not have been as way you thought. No, they
Yes.
were throwing books and chairs like, oh no, they were just yelling real loud.
Yeah.
And change the
But
whole perspective.
it's a fact that if you interact with that memory, so like you have a memory from when you were 15 or something and somebody hurt you
Mhm.
really bad. And so that stopped you from doing certain things in your life because you feel that you just can't take that step. The thing is to remember that every time you've gone back to that memory of when you were 15, you've messed with it because you've interacted with your memory. So you've left a new memory. And so if you can
Okay.
think like that, then you can
Mhm.
change that memory. You have that option and you can change that memory into a learning tool. Instead of seeing it from the negative, see it from the positive.
That's awesome.
What happened to you afterwards? You know, you're here, you're doing things. So, how did you grow into the person that you are today? You didn't let that moment define you. That's because it didn't, and it doesn't really matter, and you can let it go.
That's true. Gotta have turtle skin, because if you don't, you'll
Mm.
be stuck in the ditch a lot of times when stuff happens. Because life gonna keep going. You gotta get to your destination. So you have to make a choice. Either I'm gonna stay stuck in the mud, this happened, so I can't do ABC, or shake it off, keep going. And you'll find
Well,
out, oh, well,
this is the kind of work that I do. So I listen and I observe, and then I make some pointers, and
mhm,
then we move forward. And we look at how we are going to get you to the situation or the place that you want to be. And if that is the place where you confront your manager and basically say you are not going to do something, or um, you want a change of job or whatever because you feel you're being bullied, okay, we
Hmm.
get you to that point because we do some deep work and we raise your confidence by changing your belief system.
Okay. Now, what is a dip coach?
It means a diploma in coaching. I
Wow.
went to an organization called the Coaching Academy and I got a level 5 diploma in coaching from them. I also am DISC accredited, which is a personality um, assessment tool. So, yeah,
Yeah, you got all the credentials. You can really help them out.
I've spent a life of learning, Jeffrey, really, honestly. I don't think I
That's awesome.
stopped ever. If I have a question, I need to find the answer.
That's the right way to think about it. Well,
Hmm.
this is the time where market, promote anything you have going on. Floor is yours.
Right. Well, I am on LinkedIn and I have the audio room, as I said, every other Wednesday. Okay. You will notice on a Wednesday, if you connect or follow me, that you can ring the little bell on LinkedIn and you will get the notifications then on one Wednesday that the audio room event is happening the following Wednesday, and you will know what the topic is. So if it's interesting to you, come along. If you are connected to me, I try to send as many invites out as possible. Um, and I am looking at taking some of this stuff live, similar to what you're doing now on the live in LinkedIn, because I want to start interviewing individuals who are willing to be interviewed about some of the difficulties that they've had with their confidence, taking actions, so that we can help people to unpick that and see how they got to where they are now. So that's one of the things that is coming up. For me personally, I have a program that I am promoting at the moment. If you see me on LinkedIn, you will know. And it's called Putting Me First. It's as simple as that. Because all the things that I'm talking about right now is covered in this program. It is about understanding who you are and what matters to you, your belief system, your value, and it's about looking at your strengths, but also those flaws, which we're going to accept and love because those flaws are your next challenge, um, to help you to get to where you want to be. Um, I work in a very calm and slow process because we take on board everything that matters about you. It's really important that we have a good understanding, both of us, and we do some stepping into each other's perspectives so you can see yourself from my perspective. And we look at how much challenge you've had in your life, how you overcame those challenges, and we get you a little toolkit put together of stuff that you have achieved and things that you are good at, because that is what is going to help you to address those things that you're slightly weaker at so that you can build your confidence and self worth and you can take that action that is bothering you. So, putting myself first is just that. You've heard that saying about if you don't put the oxygen mask on yourself, you can't help
Hmm.
anyone else. Well, that's what we are doing. We are putting that oxygen mask on because I don't want to see anybody feeling that they are in conflict with themselves inside or with anyone else on the outside. Coming from the background I've come from, I know how easy conflict can make you poorly. Um, you're going to learn to negotiate. We're going to do some role play and some practice. And you're going to then be getting to the habit. We're going to take you through a process that changes some of the behavior and the thinking that you're doing and becomes a new habit of something else that will get you where you want to be. You're going to keep a journal and you're going to start looking at those thoughts, and we're going to look at distorted thoughts too. And distorted thoughts are those that don't help you. When you're thinking that there's going to be a catastrophe, when you're not able to look at another side, and so it's quite fixed. Um, if you label all the time and those labels are not serving you, I mean, I'm a bit iffy around it, labels. I think that's based on assumption a lot of the time, and it only leads us to one place. So putting myself first, I think it's a program that I have listened to people, worked with people, taken their insights. And so I think this program is representative of probably 2/3 of the population.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And when does it start?
I haven't got a start date yet. What I'm doing at the moment is having chats with people
Okay.
because, yeah, via my Calendly access. Because number one, I need to know that you're in the right place to take this forward. Number two, I need to know that you feel some commitment to making the change as we discuss it. And number three, that you have a challenge that you can fixate on and you can visualize that will help you to keep that momentum going. And when we've ascertained all of that, then we're going to bring people together to look at when would be the best date for this for everybody to start.
Okay.
Too many people, I feel, set rigid dates on things, right? And
Uh-huh.
people want to do it and they go, oh, I can't. I've got that on then. I can't do it. So I thought with this, I would start with a small group of about 8 people.
Okay.
So that's what I'm looking for. And if I get more than 8, I will run 2 of them with 2 groups of 8. We'll be doing it via Zoom. There are workbooks, and I have brought one of the workbooks here because I'm going to allow this to be a download that you can download to see how I work.
More a little
It's
bit.
called Embrace Uncertainty, Be Unpredictable. It's
Okay.
about managing that lack of control that you feel. And I will put a link into the chat thing for this later so people can download this from my Google Drive.
Okay.
And I hope that will be an introduction to who I am so that you will have some understanding of what it is I do.
Yeah, and I can put that in. If you notice how I set up the latest episode, all the information, I can put that in there.
Right,
So you can click on it.
right. I also have a carousel that I'm willing to allow download. It's been on LinkedIn already, so that's why I'm doing it. And it is about questions to ask yourself to raise your self-awareness. So we look at, how you think at different times, like when you're in the supermarket and you're in a queue,
Mm-hmm.
or if you're having a bit of a bad day. And so it's about you looking at how you're thinking, imagining those, connecting with those thoughts and those feelings. And we look at friendships, intimacy, basic
Mm-hmm.
everyday life. And they're just questions for you to ask yourself. So I'm happy for that to be downloaded too.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I just want people to understand the work that I do. It's very easy me sitting here talking about it, but I think something concrete always helps.
That's true. Anything else you have going on?
At the moment, no, as I said, this is all relatively new. I spent a year thinking through how I was going to do this, looking at where I was specifically going to concentrate because my background is around alcohol abuse, substance abuse, domestic violence, basically miscommunication, and that's why I came to this, because I looked at all of my skills and all my experience and thought to myself, I know where there's a need, and I feel that this is where there is a need. There's lots of other people doing the other stuff. I don't see too many people doing this.
No, I haven't heard
Um,
that.
no. And I think it's something that's missing. We could reduce conflict so much in our societies and our communities if people connected to their inner self and help themselves to let go of the baggage from their past that no longer serves them and
Absolutely.
can start to decide who they are now. And also, this dealing with embracing uncertainty. We're told be in control, have control. But in real life, if we really look at it, how much control do we really have? We live in a world of unpredictability,
True.
and it can very, very easy to be afraid of that and to run and hide. And what I want to do is help you come out, stand firm, and say, no, I'm not afraid of this because I know I can make this work for me.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good. You got to deal with it.
Yes.
What has been your biggest challenge?
I think my biggest challenge now or my biggest challenge in the past.
Both.
Well, my biggest challenge in the past, I think, was to find my path, to find my purpose. Because when you've lived through some of the experiences that I've lived through and come across some of the people that I've come across,
Mm-hmm.
it can be very difficult to be in the positive. You can feel a little more negative, which is why I embrace uncertainty now. I found that difficult to begin with, and that's why I advocate for it. I think we get stressed. We have an increase in stress in our society because we
Yes.
can't cope with unpredictability. So I had to find what was needed, um, challenge myself
Mm-hmm.
to get to the place that I needed to be to do this work. So I had to get more qualifications,
Okay.
um, get my headset, my mindset right,
I
you
see.
know,
Awesome.
have this self-belief myself, know that nothing that anyone says to me will bother me, or will affect me, because I know that for some of the people that I've worked with, there's been quite a lot of traumatic episodes. And because of
Okay.
my past, I had to check that I was still in a good enough place not to be affected by this. So, yes, that was my challenge, to get me,
Okay.
mind and body, in the right place.
What has been your impact?
I think my impact has been quite massive. I mean, I've had good feedback, but I even now, for people who are in this place, let me just say this:
Mm-hmm.
trust is the biggest issue. When you've been hurt,
Okay.
when you've felt let down, when you don't really feel that anyone's listening to you or understands you, you get where you don't trust anybody. You are suspicious. Yes.
The motives.
And yeah, and I think what I've been doing over the last 4 months that I've been on LinkedIn building this, I've built some trust and relationships with people who have found that difficult. If you look at a lot of my posts, I get good feedback.
Mm-hmm.
I get lots of decent DMs, people having a chat with me, and I'm not pushy. So, if someone comes to me and says, I'm having this difficulty, I will sit there and I'll say, tell me about your difficulty. But I don't say, oh, well, you've got this problem, I want to work with you, this is what I'm going to charge. What I say to somebody is, well, this is how I can help you with this. But if you need more, then that will be about cost. But
Okay.
that's investment. But it's investment.
That's true.
You're investing in yourself. If people are in a place now where they're not getting the joy in their life because either they're in a place of friction, or a
Mm-hmm.
place of fear, and working with me helps that to be dealt with, then just think of what you're getting for that cost.
Yeah, you
And
definitely
that's the way I look at it.
got to invest in yourself.
Yeah,
And
well,
then
I've invested in me. How have I got to be able to offer this today? Because I've earned my salary, and a lot of my salary has gone into my self-development. So all of
Mhm.
this training, all of this investment in me is now allowing me to be where I am and offer what I am.
And being a part of your audio show this week, it definitely delves into, like we talked about, no. You definitely go into all the psychological aspects to why are you doing stuff you really don't want to do. You need to check yourself first instead of just, well, they always, why did you agree? And that's profound because some people never want to look at, well, they keep doing this to me. Why are you allowing it? Let's not talk about that. No, let's talk about that because cause and effect. We can't be here if it didn't start with you.
Yeah.
You fix on you with that, you ain't gonna be mad about that no more because you ain't allowed it.
Well, it won't
You
bother
be
you
good.
anymore. It
Mhm.
won't bother you because you've let it go. And what we were talking about on Wednesday night was about how denial and avoidance come into play. So we can hide from the thing that we need to deal with, but eventually it's going to catch up with us. And
Yep.
aren't we better to prepare for it? So if we're in the driving seat and we go forward with that agenda, then
Mhm.
we're the ones setting the scene. And that's empowering and it's confidence
Agreed.
building. And when you know what it is you want and you know the words you want to say, you can say to that other person, I am feeling vulnerable by this. And I
Mhm.
feel that this is unfair. And I want to talk about this. Um, and then it is about not pointing the finger, but being
Mhm.
able to talk in a way about how it affects you or it affects the situation that you're working in, you know? And so you're not pointing the finger, you're not being a protagonist. What you're doing is you're looking for some form of meeting point, some form of negotiation. And that's the way forward.
I agree. Last question. What advice do you have for someone trying to find their purpose?
If you want to find your purpose, learn who you are. What matters to you and what do you value? When once you understand what your values are and you know what matters to you can start to explore what it is you want to do with the rest of your life. And I will make a quote as well. We had Brené Brown the other day. Do you remember on Wednesday? I just want to say this to add to this. How you treat yourself gives a message to other people about how to treat you.
Oh, wow. Might need to say that again for the people.
How you treat yourself gives a message to other people about how to treat you. If you don't treat yourself well and give yourself love, don't complain when other people don't give you that love and treat you well because they're picking up from you how you see the world and how you look after yourself. So it all starts with you. So if you want to find your purpose, it all starts with you, inside you.
Yeah, that's great information. That definitely will help somebody. And I look forward to watching your show once you get it off the ground.
Yes.
Your guess.
It's exciting times and it's all a big challenge, I know, but it's not a challenge. It's opportunity. And
Hmm.
that's the way we have to see the world. But I
Hey,
am open. If somebody wants to come and have a chat with me, just go onto my website, the last page contact, book a 15-minute, 30-minute talk, and we'll have a chat. And if I can help you, I will be honest. And if I can't help you because you don't fulfill the criteria for my remit, I will tell you.
okay, that's awesome. I'll put that on the description of the show as well. And the download, could you type that in the private chat so I could add that to the description?
Yes, I'll put the links. I'll take the links from my Google Drive and put them in the chat. And then if people want to download those through the link, they can do.
Okay. Anyway, I can help you with your show. So let me know.
I will. And Jeffrey, I really enjoyed Wednesday night. It was a good talk. We had a good group of people. But thank you for your input as well.
Oh, no problem. Appreciate the invite.
Yeah.
Look forward to joining next Wednesday.
It's not next Wednesday, it's Wednesday after. Next Wednesday, I post about it and spend the week promoting it. And then we have the next one. It's how we get people into the room. You need to give them time and to adjust.
All right. If I got time on my birthday, I'll pop in.
Oh, is it going to be your birthday?
That'd be November 2nd, right?
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
Great day in America. Might be in the studio. That's the goal. Working on some music. Any last words?
No, all I can say to everybody, and this comes from the heart, is love yourself a lot better than you do normally. Just care for yourself. It's important.
That is some true knowledge right there. I want to thank the relationship coaching practitioner, trainer, MA DipCoach at KG Ratcliffe Consultancy, owner, CEO, Karen Ratcliffe. Great person that's trying to help people. I'm pretty sure whoever watched this episode or a replay of it will be helped. Until next week's show. Hope everybody have a great day and a great evening over there in the great UK.
Okay, thank you.
Till next time, everybody.